One's ready. Go! So you guys are going into Special Warfare Assessment Selection. It is an attributes-based selection model. What does that mean?
Guys, are we running right now to get fitter? Or are we practicing running? Practicing.
I can't freaking...
So there's a holistic picture that we're looking for. The instructors are giving you input, and we're expecting an output. And everything is for a reason. If you guys haven't heard my spiel yet, everything that we do, every single exercise, has a connection to the job that you're trying to do. We don't want people at INDOC, Special Warfare Assessment Selection, whatever they're gonna call the new course when it inevitably changes somewhere down the road. I don't care what they call it. What I need is you to show me the raw materials for the things that I wanna build you into. Just like everything else, it's a crawl, walk, run.
I'm running Keysler just like this. All the way to ATC, you never quit. All the way to ATC, you never quit.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the One's Ready podcast. You're in the team room. This is your daily drop for the 22nd of August, 2025, brought to you by Tasty Gains. Head over to tastygains.com to get yourself some creatine solutions, hydration powders, let's see what else, pre-workout stuff, and nootropics. The creatine stuff, and I misspoke. I guess I have been misspeaking, mainly because I'm an idiot, but really it is the serving size for the creatine gummies, which taste fantastic, by the way, are 3 is one serving size, and that is 3 grams of creatine. So, you know, to get to 9, 12, 15, you got to take a bunch. Well, not a bunch, but you got to take a handful, right? But doesn't matter because they taste good, and you're at least getting exactly what you're being told you're getting, because they have a third-party testing, and turns out that their supplies actually have more creatine than is advertised. So you're doing great there. But check them out, tastygains.com, and get yourself some supplies. All right. Off on the news, joint news. That doesn't even make sense. United States Department of Defense reported that Secretary of Defense met with roughly 300 mobilized National Guard members at the D.C. Armory to thank them for supporting the safe and beautiful mission in the Capitol. Leaders emphasized community safety, interagency coordination, and sustained readiness. I do wonder about the interagency coordination, like who is the folks at the agency that's actually in charge there, and who is doing command and control. And then also, you know, this is one of the things that was highlighted during the 9/11 attacks was you have all these different agencies, to include the National Guard, that actually their radios couldn't talk to each other. They operated on different networks, and they had no way to communicate with each other, which is kind of wild to think of about, 24 years later. But never underestimate DOD, law enforcement, federal agency, the government, whether it's state or federal, to jack some things up and not actually come up with solutions. But yeah. All right, next. District of Columbia Guard supports local law enforcement. DOD highlighted ongoing patrols by Army and Air National Guard personnel around national parks as part of a broader public safety mission. The effort, conducted under a joint task force, maybe that just answered my question, includes coordination with local police and focuses on visible presence and community reassurance. Listen, I haven't been to Washington, D.C. in about a year, and I was very, not sequestered, but I was definitely staying in a certain area near the Pentagon, and then I guess it would have been Alexandria, I think, and looked super nice. I never saw any issues. However, I do have quite a few friends there, and they did say that the crime is unbelievable there right now. So I think it's probably a good thing that all this is happening, even if it's just kind of presence patrols kind of thing. So, all right, next. Ulchi Freedom Shield exercise underway in Korea. DoD said U.S. and South Korean forces kicked off Ulchi Freedom Shield 2025 featuring live fire, constructive, and field training across multiple domains. The exercise aims to strengthen alliance readiness and whole government coordination. So the constructive part, if you're not tracking, is likely live virtual construction, LVC, which is what they call simulations, using simulators and that kind of stuff. Simulators have definitely come a long way, and they're continuously getting better. But right on. Hopefully they get some good training out of it, especially for our U.S. folks. But South Korea definitely good partners of ours. Some of the best partners. All right, Air Force News. Senior enlisted leaders engages airmen at Incirlik Air Base. The United States Air Force Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force visited Incirlik Air Base to discuss readiness with airmen across units in a strategically important location. Discussions focused on mission support and quality of life topics. So I do wonder, and I actually don't have any insight into this. If you guys aren't tracking, I know that we've talked about it, that current Chief of Staff of the Air Force, General David Alvin, has, quote unquote, stepped away, right? And will be retiring, moving on. And there's folks, there's a handful of generals, some active, some retired, that are in the running to be the next CSAF. The one that is probably in the lead right now is General Wielsbach, who was prior commander of Air Combat Command, or COMAC. The weird thing about it is today is actually his retirement ceremony. So you're probably wondering how that works. Well, I don't fully know. I mean, even though I'm retired, I could still get called back to service. And, sometimes if they make you an offer that you can't refuse, as in, hey, you get to run the Air Force, like that's probably something that you would cancel your retirement for or come back in post-retirement. So could it be Wielsbach? Sure. If it is him, then you got to imagine the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force is probably going to change out as well. And I'm gonna shoot my shot now, right? If I had to guess, and it is Wielsbach, the next SimSAF will be, I think his first name is David, but Chief Wolf. I believe it's David Wolf. He is also prior the Air Combat Command chief. So I'm just going to shoot my shot now. I think that's who it's going to be. All right, next, Special Operations Readiness Validated in Emerald Warrior 25.2. Air Force Special Operations Command reported outcomes from Emerald Warrior 25.2 across Arizona and California, citing gains in agile combat employment and joint integration. The command emphasized applications for future contested operations. If any of you guys have ever been involved in an Emerald Warrior, and especially you teen dudes, I know you're listening, and I know you've done Emerald Warrior. Unless it's changed, in my experience, it is a massive, massive waste of time. And they have one hell of a staff in terms of planners. I think they have 76 planners, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but they hold one exercise once a year is usually what it is. Now, that is kind of telling when it says 25.2, because the .2 usually means that that's a second one within 2025. So I could be wrong and some things have changed. Obviously, if it's 25.2, things probably have changed. But in the past, it was a massive waste of time. So I really do hope that folks are getting, that this is now turned into a good exercise and people are actually getting something out of it. All right, next, pilot training class earns wings at Laughlin. U.S. Air Force noted 21 officers completed undergraduate pilot training at Laughlin Air Force Base, receiving silver wings at Class 2514-14 graduation. The event marked progression to operational aircraft training pipelines. Congratulations to those 21 officers on completing UPT. I'm sure you guys already know this, but we need you. We need you bad. So congrats. All right, these are of interest. Coast Guard and Navy seize cocaine in Eastern Pacific. A Coast Guard law enforcement detachment embarked on USS Sampson seized approximately 1,296 pounds of cocaine during maritime interdiction operations. The interdiction forms part of an ongoing counter-drug efforts in international waters. Next, Military Health System Roundup. The Military Health System published an end of week update highlighting ongoing research efforts and readiness focus health guidance. Items included research milestones and educational content for service members and their families. Cool. All right, that's it for the news. We still have slots available for the Nashville Operator Training Summit 25-26 October. And really a massive thanks to all of you guys out there. We just released our 500th episode. Even so, it's not really a 500th. Like, we have a lot more because that number doesn't account for all the members' episodes or these daily drops or anything like that. Those are just like our regular episodes. So thank you for walking with us and supporting us through this entire thing. We absolutely love it. Every time I get the chance to sit down on a Saturday or Sunday or on a day off or something like that and record, and whether I'm talking to you guys in the chat or I get to hang out with some of my best friends, Aaron and Trent, and sit here and BS, like, dude, it's amazing. So thank you for supporting us, and like, we couldn't do it without you. So, all right. See you.